So you have your 3D printer and your 3D model. You load the model and press print, and the 3D printer does just that. No hassle, no fuss, the perfect ideal scenario. That's what Bambu Lab claims its A1 can do. But is it beginner friendly in terms of ease of use, maintenance, reliability, performance, and cost, among other things like, for example, worry-free printing, and is it as easy as using your smartphone? And has Bambu Lab innovated with their A1 printer? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's through testing. Let's see what the setup of the A1 is like. That is a hefty box. This is gonna come in handy. This video is sponsored by Bambu Lab, but I've actually bought and used Bambu Lab products 1.5 years before they even sponsored me, and I had a very good experience with their product, so I was very excited to see them reach out. However, the statements on the A1 printer in this video are entirely mine. Okay, so next up we do whatever that is. And then for the next 25 minutes, I struggled and stumbled around until I finally finished. So it took around 38 minutes for me to stumble around and just so happened to assemble this right here. All right, so it took around 40 minutes to assemble this thing. And then after I did that, I just pressed a button to calibrate this whole printer. And so yeah, it was just a lot of waiting afterwards, about 25 to 30 minutes. But I'm pretty sure other printers in this price range of around $400 have a similar capability where you just press a button and then calibrates at least some things for you. At least for Bambu Labs printers, it does seem like it does do a lot of it for you to the point where you just, again, have to press print. Speaking of printing and just pressing print, let's actually get to that. Okay, let's see how long it takes to load a model and print with the A1. I'll be testing the A1 with 2 different models at 2 different speeds to test the A1's performance. One model is more of an engineering example, while the other is non-engineering, emphasizing more intricate shapes but de-emphasizing strength. Both models will be printed at slow and fast speeds, indicated by the letters S or F for slow or fast. These models will be printed with PLA material, a beginner-friendly material, to keep the 4 models consistent material-wise. Okay, so we're gonna start the timer and time how long it takes for us to get started with a print. A1, yeah, that looks about right. Auto bed leveling, okay. And that should theoretically, oh, there it is. I sure hope that this cable right here doesn't just die. All right, so that was like a minute or so. Yeah, a minute 36. Very, very easy to get started to print once you have your model. Either you download it or you make it yourself. So before starting the rest of the print, I just fixed the problem of the cable getting caught by using a simple zip tie. All right, so the printer finished printing. Let's take a look at the slow prints. This is the S right here to indicate it's slow, came out pretty easily. So this is the aesthetic print. And well, it printed slowly or slower than the default setting that I set it at. Here we have an engineering bracket, which there's a little bit of flex in there, but I mean, this part wasn't designed to hold that much pressure, but it does the job. Over here, we printed faster. So it was printed, say 10 to 20% faster speeds compared to the normal default setting. And I mean, it looks pretty much the same. This is fast, this is slow. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here we have the engineering brackets, which is a little different because if you can see that, there are some hairs on there, some stringing. We did print this one a little bit faster than over here. I mean, functionally, it feels exactly the same. All right, so starting from your computer is pretty cool, but what if you're not at your computer? Or in other words, what if you're not at home, but maybe you're at a place with some Wi-Fi? So you could do it with your phone. As you can see, we can select different printers if you have multiple like me. I can select the options similar to how I would select it on my computer. So I could do bed leveling right here and time lapse if I want it, and then I can start the print. And let's see what happens if I press start print. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Now, as you might notice, it's starting up, but obviously this thing will never work because there's no filament. So we can just press stop. There we go. Task canceled. But how would you know if something bad is happening if you're not here? Well, there's this thing called a video camera. if it loads up. It's a bit slow, but I mean, for something that takes as long as a 3D print, and it's fine. So what is my opinion on how easy or hard it is to print with this thing? Well, obviously, it's very easy. You just press print and it does it. There is literally no human intervention required to really print like faster or higher quality, other than I guess selecting the setting for higher quality if you want it. Or if you want to print faster, you just increase the speed and then you let it do its thing to calibrate, which is very nice. All right, so is this concept revolutionary? Maybe. I mean, there are other printers where you send the print file over and then it just starts as well. But I do think that Bambu Labs were one of the first to pioneer this kind of 3D printer, at least to the point where it is accessible and mainstream. So we've only printed with Bambu Labs PLA, which is a basic beginner material, which is great. But what if you're a beginner and you want some more versatility? Well, Bambu Lab claims that the A1 can print PLA, PETG, as well as their carbon fiber derivatives and some other materials, but only if you replace the stainless steel hot end with a hardened steel one, which I'll try right now. I actually thought that I would need a set of tools for this, but actually it's very, very simple. I take this off, unlatch that, and apparently you just, do that. So there's the magnet. I guess it goes in like this. Okay, I guess that's good. Put this cover back on, just, I guess, put it on top. Forgot to put this one back on. And there we go. So before moving on, there's actually one pretty huge thing that can improve the versatility of the printer, and that's the AMS Lite. The AMS Lite supposedly allows you to print with 4 different materials in a single print job. It does this by holding 4 filament rolls and inserts the one to be used into the hot end when needed. So the AMS Lite can allow for multicolor printing up to 4 colors, but also multi-material printing, which is what I'm interested in. And that's because we can save a lot of time by printing 4 different materials all in one print instead of needing to change the filament in the middle of the night and then starting a new print. Let's see if the A1 and the AMS Lite can print 4 of the engineering brackets we saw before in 4 different materials. Each bracket is labeled with letters corresponding to PLA, PETG, and their carbon fiber derivatives. So you might have noticed that we've moved to a new location, and this is the back corner of my room right here. And I'm doing this because I'm printing with carbon fiber filaments, which means that it might produce some air particles that I won't want to sniff. So what I do is I have this air purifier right here to purify the air, obviously. And if that is not enough, then I have this open window, which, well, this fan right here will hopefully push the air, shove it away from where I usually am, and shove it into nature. Sorry, Mother Nature, but I have asthma. And we're good to go. So I guess time lapse. I want to see what that is like. There we go. It's downloaded. So yeah, this is a PLA, just like before pretty much, except this time it was printed with, oh, there's some cracking there, if you can hear that. But pretty much the same, except now we're printing with carbon fiber. And so the transition between carbon fiber and PLA could pose a little bit of a challenge, but it did it. So next up, we got carbon fiber version of PLA. So I don't know if you could see a difference between the textures there. One looks more like stacked lines, and then this one looks more like sand, I guess. It has some nicer textures. There isn't any cracking that I can hear, but for this one there might be. Yeah, you hear that? This is the PLA version. This is the carbon fiber. Now we got PETG over here. A slightly more advanced filament than PLA. Printed like normal, but you can still hear some cracking. So it seems like the non-carbon fiber filaments have some cracking in them, some brittleness. And now we have the PET-GCF, which I think is in general strongest, but it might be harder to print. So maybe the strength is sacrificed a little bit there. So yeah, PET GCF is a little bit hard to print, as you can see there. The A1 kind of struggled there. There's some like stringing, weird stuff going on there, but how's the strength? There's a little bit of cracking. You can hear that. I heard a little bit, but less so compared to the non-carbon fiber filaments. If I just get you guys over here, as you can see over here, that's all of the waste produced from this print. And that's because every time we have to change filaments for each part, it'll have to purge the old filament and then replace it with the new one and then discard it somewhere. Right, so that's cool and all, but if you're a beginner, chances are you probably don't have any 3D modeling experience. However, you do have options when using Bambu Lab's online services. Bambu Labs' MakerWorld is a 3D model repository, meaning you can download models that you search up and use those to print on your Bambu Lab printer, like the A1. However, it's not that revolutionary as there are other 3D printing repositories like Thingiverse. But what if you can't find a model on any repository, but you do have an image of what you want? That's where it gets interesting. Bambu Lab has an AI 3D model generator, and that means that you can import a picture of what you want, and it will generate a 3D model from that 2D image. So I haven't really seen that in 3D printing before, but technically that's more of Bambu Lab's website rather than this 3D printer itself, but still cool either way. So my sister likes to make AI generated pictures. So let's put that picture in and see what happens. Will it generate the model? And indeed it has. And it actually looks very, very nice. Really close to the real thing, even though it's, well, actually it's AI generated, but you get what I mean. So with all this usage, one would ask about reliability. Bambu Labs has claimed that the A1 can do a lot of things on its own, such as auto bed leveling, spool filament loading, and checking for any blockages, as well as belt tension checking, and also like filament flow rates and all of that. And so because of all of those software automations, it would allow for more consistent prints because you would, as the user, be automatically warned about anything wrong with the printer, and obviously you would do something about it, then reliability would be much better. Now, I haven't done any long-term tests like for a year or anything like that. I mean, I'm just making predictions based on current features and current performance. In terms of the build quality, I mean, it's made of metal mostly. That would lead to better print quality and consistency. Now, in comparison with my first 3D printer experience, this is absolutely amazing. With my first 3D printer, the Ender 3 Pro, everything was manual. Though, to be fair, that printer was from 2018 or something. More modern 3D printers in the same price range seem to have similar features, but it does seem like Bambu Lab has made it much more mainstream. Features like vibration calibration, improving print speeds and quality. And that leads into the question of user responsibility. What does the user need to worry about when they own a printer like this one? Well, not much apparently. It seems like you don't even need to check things manually, as the A1 will check it for you, and even do some things automatically for you, which you would have had to do manually for other 3D printers. That would just leave the user with general maintenance to worry about, as with any technology. So it seems like this A1 printer has been doing pretty well for itself. I mean, it has good ease of use, good reliability, good performance, and some versatility as well. I mean, what can't it do? Well, unfortunately, it can't be very cheap, at least for beginners in 3D printing. So again, this 3D printer costs 400 bucks and this AMS Lite costs 280. But that's understandable because these come out of the box with all of the good features without any hassle or any need to make any upgrades. The good features also come with the cost of upgradability, meaning you can't really upgrade this printer all that well, but to be honest, you wouldn't be buying this 3D printer to upgrade it anyway. Now, if you want to print with more exotic materials, then you would have to buy another 3D printer rather than upgrading this A1 printer, because you can't really upgrade it all too much in comparison to other printers where you could just upgrade to your heart's content and have it do whatever you want as long as you put in a lot of time and effort into it. Okay, so what is my final opinion on the A1 printer and the AMS? Well, I'd say that it's great for beginners that are looking to get into 3D printing and want to use the A1 for many different use cases without any hassle and with good performance. However, if you want to use it for more advanced scenarios like engineering grade prototyping, this ain't it. Personally, I would have probably bought this printer, but it just so happens that I was able to fit the Bambu Lab P1S into my budget, so I ended up just buying that instead of this one. In my opinion, Bambu Labs has definitely helped to make good 3D printer performance with ease of use more mainstream and helped to improve the accessibility of 3D printing. So now pretty much anyone can get into 3D printing, and I'm all for that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you learned more about the Bambu Labs A1 printer and about Bambu Labs themselves as well. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.